Due to the strong winds and dry land. The Smokehouse Creek fire burning in the Panhandle has already reached nearly 1,080,000 acres. According to the Texas A&M Forest Service, still only 15% containment. Governor Greg Abbott provided an update yesterday at a briefing in Borger, Texas. He spoke on a plan in place to extend air support and debris removal services as dangerous conditions continue in that area. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with folks who have family affected and has more on how local community.
The agriculture industry, a big driver of the state's economy, was already facing pressures from prolonged and widespread drought that forced ranchers to manage smaller herds, contributing to a decrease in beef production nationally. The region supports over 10 million head of livestock. Most of the cattle are kept in feedlots and dairy farms as farmers and ranchers attempt to shield their herds from the wildfires, Miller said. There are millions of cattle out there, with some towns comprising more cattle than people, Miller told the Wall Street Journal. Even before this disaster erupted, supplies of beef were really tight. At this point, the size of the U.S. cattle herd is the smallest since 1951. And the size of the Canadian cattle herd is the smallest in 30 years. Canada is the next nation to report a multi-decade low cattle herd. And even without the tragedy in Texas, we were already being warned that the U.S. cattle herd would get even smaller this year, because we are looking at the smallest beef calf crop since 1948. Beef is now considered to be a luxury meat, and prices are only going to go higher throughout the remainder of 2024. So if you enjoy beef, I would stock up now. Globalist green policies as well as inflation and rising costs have led to thinner herds, and in some instances, foreclosure or shuttering of farms altogether, bringing with them a potential domestic food crisis, they said. Farmers are going out of business every day, said John Boyd Jr., founder of the Black Farmers of America. We have already seen farmers engage in wild protests all over Europe. And it is probably just a matter of time before we see similar protests here in the United States. But even if government control freaks left our farmers alone, they would still have to deal with weather patterns that have gone completely nuts. For example, this weekend an absolutely massive blizzard dumped up to 12 feet of snow on some parts of California, and wind gusts in some areas actually reached 190 miles per hour.